I think today I didn't really handle myself quite well, mentally, I would say. So basically that's it. I was just making unforced errors. Like, I don't know, I have to check the statistics. I think she won the match not because she played incredible, just because I made all of those mistakes from, like, if you look from the outside, kind of like from an easy ball.
In women's tennis, something changed overnight, and it wasn't an unexpected upset or a new champion. Behind closed doors, a subtle, nearly imperceptible shift was taking place. The phones ceased to ring. Emails were not responded to. Once locked-in meetings had to be re-evaluated. Arna Sabalenka, a player who appeared untouchable only days before, was at the center of it all. There are now questions that no sponsor wants to be close to. Everything started with a single courtroom incident involving Coco Gauff. A moment that fans can't stop watching, debating, and dissecting frame by frame. The devastation was already spreading, but nothing was confirmed. Furthermore, the actual panic didn't begin on the court. The boardrooms were where it all began.
Yeah, that hurts. I mean, especially when you've been playing really great tennis during the whole week. You know, you've been playing against a lot of tough opponents, Olympic champion.
However, that incident was just the start of a full-blown crisis. On the surface, the match itself appeared routine. Under dazzling lights, two of the biggest stars in women's tennis play each rally in front of an enthusiastic crowd. From the first serve, the tension was evident. Each point was more weighty than the previous one. Based on form, Sabalenka emerged as the favorite. Coco Gauff entered the courtroom with a level of calm concentration that is never recorded on the stat sheet. And the feelings grew more intense as the match got closer. Then came the time that everyone is talking about. Sabalenka glanced away from the court and murmured something under her breath for a little moment after missing a shot. Nobody gave it much thought at first. Athletes are constantly venting. These emotional moments are captured by cameras during every game. The majority of them are forgotten in a matter of minutes, but not this one. It was clipped by someone. It was slowed down by someone. Captions were added by someone. All of a sudden, nobody was discussing the score, the strategy, or who would advance to the next round in the tennis world. They were discussing that one short audio clip, attempting to determine what was said, what was intended, and whether or not it violated an uncrossable boundary.
Congratulations, Coco. When Arina sat here, she said that she thinks if Iga had won her, she wins the thing today because of how the match turned up. Do you think the way you play today, you beat anyone? It doesn't matter who's on the other side of the net?
She said if I play Iga in the final.
She said that if we go, she didn't mention exactly winning you, but she said if Iga won me, she would win the thing.
I mean, I don't agree with that. I'm here sitting here, and last time I played, no, like to Iga or anything, but I played her and I won in straight sets. So, yeah, I don't think that's a fair thing to say.
And as soon as that video began to circulate, things quickly went from tense to explosive. That brief video quickly spread to every part of the internet in a matter of hours. It was reposted on tennis pages. It was further slowed down by commentary networks. Fans put on headphones and repeatedly relived the event, each time hearing something slightly different. Some claimed to have heard something obscene. Others contended that it was perhaps a disgruntled mumble that had been taken out of context, possibly in her native tongue. The issue was that no one could come to a consensus. Additionally, social media doesn't wait for facts when there is a mixture of emotion and uncertainty. It completes the narrative on its own.
Because anything can really happen. And yeah, honestly, I mean, the way Irina was playing the last few weeks, she was the favorite to win. So I think she was the best person that I could have played in the final. Her being #1 in the world, it was the best person to play. So I think I got the hardest matchup just if you go off stats alone. Obviously, Iga being a champion here.
And to be honest, given the way Irina has been performing over the past few weeks, she was the clear favorite to win. She was, in my opinion, the best player I could have played in the championship game. She was the ideal person to play because she was the greatest person in the world. Based only on statistics, I believe I have the most difficult matchup. Here, EGA is undoubtedly the winner. Subtitles, audio-enhanced versions, and screenshots began to appear everywhere. Suddenly, people who had never watched a full tennis match were acting like experts, interpreting body language and lip movements. Influencers jumped at the chance to get views. News reports alluded to contentious in-court audio. Even casual viewers who typically only watch major championships felt compelled to take a side. Character, intent, and respect became the topics of discussion instead of sports. It wasn't simply the clip that caused everything to blow up. It was the surrounding emptiness. No quick clarification, no justification from either side, and no reassuring comment from the league. That quiet felt loud in a world where everything is resolved in a matter of minutes. It implied guilt to some. It meant bewilderment to others. It represented risk to the sponsors, who are the most important individuals in company. And the one thing that brands avoid the quickest is danger. Because contracts were being reviewed while the public continued to debate in the comment areas. Reputations were being discreetly reassessed behind closed doors, and meetings were being convened. She's probably upset about it, so I won't take it too personally. While fans were busy discussing what they heard and what it might mean, I do hope that people will give her a little bit of attention. In private, something far more subdued and grave was taking place. This is the portion that viewers are unable to see. The phone calls, the emergency Zoom sessions, and the abrupt change in tone from "we're excited for this partnership" to "let's take a step back and reassess" are the parts that don't appear on highlight reels or trending pages. A thorough inquiry is not necessary for sponsors to become concerned. All they require is uncertainty. And at that same moment, Sabalenka's name was surrounded by uncertainty.
She's probably emotional about it, so I'm not going to take it with too much anything. And I do hope people give her a little bit of...
In the business world, controversy doesn't come with a wait for more information button. Instead, brands protect their image first and ask questions later. As a result, some deals were put on hold, campaigns that were about to launch abruptly went quiet, and social media posts featuring her vanished without any explanation. To those in the room, it seemed insignificant, but it felt panicked. It wasn't exactly a loud, "we're dropping you" moment. It was more nuanced than that. A cooling off, a slow retreat, a change from self-assured assistance to cautious quiet. Additionally, that silent action speaks louder than any press announcement. Because awkward situations in the workplace typically indicate that someone is about to leave. The difference between the two players became unavoidable as the pressure began to mount around her.
You talk about the power of social media to help tell your story, but do you think at the end of the day you're still a little bit misunderstood for who you are?
No, I think nowadays people know me as a player and as a person. Like, I feel like people know that, okay, of course she's aggressive, she's passionate, she's focused, and she's fighting for her dream, but also, of course, she's fun and she's nice, she's chill, and she's a completely different person. So I think now people knows me. Maybe like that little situation after French Open, some people don't really understand the intensity of everything, and that you lose the final of the biggest tournament, and then you go to the media straight away, and you're so frustrated, so pissed on yourself, and you're just trying to figure what just happened, and you don't think clean, and then you make this comment, and people go they forget completely about who you are, the rest of.
When you witness someone fail, you tend to consider it as the most important thing you know. After that, I had to take a step back, think about everything, apologize, and make sure everyone understood that I was simply overly emotional. I was entirely mistaken. It took me a little while to clarify myself following that as well. However, I believe that people now have a deeper understanding of me. Additionally, although it was a challenging lesson, it greatly benefited me in a variety of ways. Additionally, I don't think that people still misinterpret me at the moment. Since one side was dealing with frozen calls and paused deals while the other was addressing the problem in a totally different way, I feel like they now know me even better. As the attention intensified around Sabalenka, Coco Gauff made a move that initially perplexed many. She remained silent. There should be no sentimental posts, ambiguous tweets, or all-caps Instagram statements, just quiet. Oddly enough, her quiet was more powerful than anything she could have shared. Supporters were anticipating a response. Reporters were practically pleading for one. Everyone anticipated a sharp clap back or an emotional reaction, but Coco went in a different direction. The following morning, she appeared at practice as if nothing had happened. The same intensity, attention, and headphones. On its own, a straightforward picture of her entering the training facility went viral. There is no need for a caption. Each person added their own. She's confined. Drama is not what she is here for. Class is preferable to chaos. At that point, the story began to change. She began to be perceived as the calm center of the storm, the mature person in the room, and the one who avoided getting drawn into the commotion rather than just another athlete caught in the middle of it. Furthermore, her inability to play the game made her stand out even more in a world that depends on reactions. On-air commentators began bringing it up. Her maturity was hailed by fans. Even others who had never previously followed her began to notice how she was managing the circumstance. It wasn't really loud. It was strong, yet it wasn't showy. Additionally, Coco's poise made her appear unflinching in stark contrast to the uncertainties surrounding Sabalenka. However, the court of public opinion was already rendering its judgment while Coco continued to concentrate on her game. The internet discourse began to drastically change as the disparity became apparent. It was merely a debate at start. There was back and forth between the two sides, but gradually the tone shifted. Sabalenka's quiet started to seem awkward the more. People witnessed Coco remaining confined and unconcerned. Fans who were neutral began to tilt one way. The comment sections, which had previously been divided in half, suddenly felt unbalanced as longtime fans began to express quiet questions. The resurfacing of previous videos and interviews with Sabalenka didn't help either. There were enough instances that, when